Okay, moving on to question 9. Harry's dad is 3.2 times as old as he is. If Harry's dad is 48 years old, how old is Harry? So we can let Harry's age be x. Then what we can say is 3.2 times x, that's Harry's dad's age is 3.2 times as old as he is, equals to 48 because his dad is 48 years old. So now we can just divide both sides by 3.2 to get x equals 15. So we can say therefore, these three dots means therefore. Only in math, these three dots means therefore in math only. Harry is 15 years old. Question 10. Sue babysat for her neighbor and earned 190 for 20 hours of work. How much did Sue earn per hour? Again, whatever they're asking me, I'm just gonna let that be x. Let Sue's hourly wage be x. So now we have 20 hours times her hourly wage equals to 190. So we can just divide both sides by the coefficient to get x equals 9.5. So therefore, Sue's hourly earning is $9.5. And I think that's below our minimum wage in BC. So if you ever get this kind of wage, you can you should let your employer know. Let's see, BC minimum wage. Yeah, right now it's $14.60. So no one can pay you below $14.60 as of 2020. So you need to look it up. Later on when you start working, you should earn at least more than the minimum wage. 11. Bill has 24% of his pay withheld for income tax and other deductions. If he earns $11.50 before deductions, how much is withheld? So let x equals to the amount withheld. So x would just be 1150, which is what he earns before the deduction, times 24% is being withheld. So, the government needs some money to, for example, build our school, build the hospital, hire policemen, and build all the roads, right? So this is why whenever we as Canadian, when we make an earnings, a part of our earnings is being withheld for taxes. So government has some money to do all those things. So therefore, $276 is withheld. So we all chip in to build our community through paying taxes. Question 12. Person weighs approximately 2 1/3 times their body weight on Jupiter. If a person weighed 450 pounds on Jupiter, how much do they weigh on Earth? So let x equals to the weight on Earth. Then we can say 2 1/3 times the weight on Earth equals to the Jupiter's weight, which is 450. So I can first convert this into an improper fraction. 7/3x equals to 450. And then now I can times both sides by the reciprocal of the coefficient. And I would just type that into the calculator. 450 times 3/7. We get 192.85. They want us to round this to the nearest pound. So this person weighs 193 pounds. So LB means pounds. A rope is cut into two pieces with longer piece 5 times the length of the shorter piece. If the longer piece is 7.5 meters long, how long was the rope before cutting? So we have a rope. This rope has a length of x. is being cut into two pieces. The longer piece is 5 times the length of the shorter piece. I will just let this be y, and this will be 5y. So this one is a little bit more difficult. Our goal is to find x. Okay, so the longer piece, 5y, which is the longer piece, is 7.5 meters long. How long was the rope before cutting? So our goal is to find x. So 5y divided by 5 equals to 7.5 divided by 5. Y equals 7.5 is the same as 15/2 divided by 5/1. So y equals 15/2 times 1/5. Divided by 5 to get 1, divided by 5 to get 3. So y equals to 3/2. We are not finished yet. Our goal is to find x, which is what the question is asking us. So x is just 6y, right? It's just 1y plus 5y. And we have determined that y equals to 3/2. So divided by 2 to get 1, divided by 2 to get 3. So x equals to 9. So I can say that the rope is 9 meters long before it was cut. If 2/3 of a recipe calls for 3.5 cups of flour, how much does a full recipe cost for? So let x equals to the amount of flour for a full recipe. So 2/3 of a recipe x calls for 3.5 cups of flour. So I can convert both sides into improper fraction. 3.5 is the same as 7/2. And then now I can times the reciprocal of the coefficient on both sides. To get x equals 21/4 cups. So I can say that full recipe calls for 21/4 cups of flour. Okay, that's it for 5.4. I'll see you in 5.5.